Have you ever woken up in the dead of night, certain you heard something whisper your name? Little Emily did. Every night, the voice came through her bedroom vent, soft, raspy, impossible to ignore. Her parents told her it was just the house settling, until they heard it too, until they saw the deep claw marks inside the vent, until they realized something had been listening back all along. Tonight, I'll tell you what happened in that house. But first, do me a favor. Take a quick look at your nearest air vent. Go on, I'll wait. Welcome to the spooky place, where sleep is never safe and nightmares begin with a story. The thing in the basement. The first time little Emily mentioned the voice, her parents dismissed it as a child's overactive imagination. "It's just the wind, sweetheart," her mother soothed, tucking her in tightly. But Emily's wide, fearful eyes told a different story. Night after night, she insisted someone was whispering to her through the basement vent, a soft, raspy voice calling her name. Her father, Mark, humored her one evening, kneeling by the vent with a flashlight. "See? Nothing there," he said, though the crawl space beneath the house felt unnaturally cold. But then, as he turned to leave, the faintest breath of sound slithered up from the darkness. Emily, his blood turned to ice. That wasn't the wind. The next night, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Emily's mother, Sarah, heard at this time a wet, guttural voice, like something choking on its own words. Trembling, they checked the vent again. The beam of the flashlight revealed deep, jagged claw marks raked across the metal interior, as if something had been trying to pry its way through. Panic set in. They called the police, but the officers found nothing. No intruder, no animal. Just those awful scratches, fresh and glistening under the light. That night, they barricaded Emily's door, praying for dawn. But as the house fell silent, the whispering began again. Only now, it wasn't just Emily's name. "Let me in," it hissed, followed by a slow, deliberate knock from inside the vent. Then, the metal grate twisted inward with a shriek. Something was coming up, and it had been waiting for them to listen. Mark lunged forward and slammed his palm against the vent, holding the twisted grate in place. The metal was ice cold, searing his skin like frostbite. From the darkness below came a wet, rattling breath. Then a laugh, low and gurgling, as if whatever lurked down there was amused by his desperation. Sarah snatched Emily in her arms and backed toward the door, her pulse hammering. "We're leaving. Now!" But as she turned the knob, the house groaned, a deep, shuddering vibration, like something massive shifting beneath the floorboards. The lights flickered. Then, one by one, every door in the hallway slammed shut on its own. A new sound cut through the silence. Scratching, not from the vent this time, but from inside the walls. Emily buried her face in her mother's shoulder, her tiny body trembling. "It's not just one," she whispered. "They're everywhere." Mark's breath came in ragged gasps as he pressed against the vent, his muscles burning. But then, movement in the corner of his vision. The closet door across the room creaked open, just an inch. A single, skeletal finger curled around the edge, its nail blackened and split. Sarah screamed. The vents exploded in a chorus of whispers, 100 hissing voices overlapping. Emily, Emily, Emily. The walls breathed, and then the lights went out for good. In the suffocating darkness, only one thing was certain. They weren't just hearing things anymore. They were being hunted, and the thing in the basement was hungry. The darkness was alive. Mark could feel it pressing against him. Thick, suffocating, hungry. Sarah clutched Emily tighter, her back pressed against the locked bedroom door as the whispers swirled around them. A chorus of voices that weren't quite human. Some giggled, some wept, some simply begged to be let in. Then, the scratching turned to thumping. Something was pounding against the walls from the other side. Hard, frantic, like a trapped animal. No, not an animal. The rhythm was too deliberate, too mocking. Thump, thump, thump. Let us out. A voice gurgled from the vent, thick with something wet and unnatural. Emily let out a choked sob. Daddy, it's not under the house. Her tiny hands trembled as she pointed to the floor. It's inside. Mark's stomach dropped. He dropped to his knees, pressing his ear to the wooden boards. And then he heard it, breathing, not from the vent, not from the walls, from beneath the floor. The crawl space wasn't empty. Something had been digging. Something had been waiting. And now, the floorboard splintered. A hand, skeletal, dripping with blackened sludge, shot up through the broken wood, fingers twitching, reaching. Sarah screamed, dragging Emily back as the thing beneath the house pulled itself free. The last thing Mark saw before the lights died completely was its face, stretched too wide, its mouth a jagged hole filled with whispers. And then the house fell silent, because the thing in the basement didn't need a whisper anymore. It was already inside. The police found the house empty. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. Just 3 sets of footprints. 2 large, 1 small, leading down to the basement before vanishing completely. The only clue, a single voice recorder left on Emily's nightstand. When investigators pressed play, they expected a child's voice. Instead, what came through was something else entirely. A wet, choking whisper, repeating the same phrase over and over in a tone that made even seasoned officers recoil. We're not in the vents anymore. And then, just before the recording cut to static, the faint sound of giggling. Not Emily's. Not human. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe for more scary stories.